Warning, this story contains artistic depictions of sexual conduct. All characters of the story are over the age of 18. Any similarities to real people, living or dead, are coincidental. So this is your heads up that this is not something to be taken lightly. In case you're wondering, yes, I do intend to censor the moment, but we'll see what it's like when it comes. And on that note, welcome to Sweetest Monster. So this is a visual novel that was just uploaded on Steam. I don't know if it was available in other places. The dev has had some other games. I haven't actually looked into them yet. But this one I was told has a pretty shocking twist ending, which kind of hooked me on it. And to be honest, with the way this week is already scheduling for me, it's difficult for me to actually do some of my normal projects here, so I want to do this since it's short, sweet, we can get it real quick, and then hopefully I'll be able to move back into my normal routine. But in the meantime, we can try to enjoy this, which is probably not going to go the way we expect, who knows. So I don't know if it's a voice actor or really much of anything, we'll see. Okay, apparently it's not. I remember when Great Aunt Clarice was still alive. She had a black cat called Belle. Now, that isn't strictly true. Great Aunt Clarice didn't just have one cat over her long life, she had several. Maybe it's because she never had any children, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, and diagnosing somebody after their death seems rather callous to me. Great Aunt Clarice always loved cats. After the death of Great Uncle Albert, however, she began to dote on them more and more. She would sit them on her lap and talk to them, and she looked at them so intensely, you would have thought she was waiting for a reply. It was kind of sad now that I think about it. I didn't find it sad when I was little, though. I thought it was scary. I never liked going to see Great Aunt Clarice. She would sit in her armchair, bent double, back hunched like the eponymous bell ringer from Victor Hugo's famous novel, stroking her cat with her withered, ropey hands. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame, if you're not familiar with it. I guess she was your archetypical crazy cat lady. At her lowest point, she had 6 of the things, shedding hair around the house and dragging dead birds across the welcome mat in the kitchen. I don't remember much about her cats. I mean, they're just cats. You've seen one cat, you've seen them all, right? But Belle was different. I remember Belle. Belle was a black cat, proud and stately, her eyes greener than anything I'd ever seen before. She disliked people in general and would hiss and spit whenever on one's fingers strayed too near to her glossy coat. She hissed at me and mother and father, and she definitely hissed at Great Aunt Clarice. When she was truly enraged, Belle would even try to scratch us. I can still remember how it felt when Belle's claws worked against the back of my hands. I still remember the ugly red welts she caused. She drew blood on more than one occasion. Mother and father were upset, but Great Aunt Clarice simply tutted and said, well, what can you do? My parents, as may be expected, were not very happy about this laissez-faire response. As a result, they stopped visiting her for several weeks. They couldn't hold out for long, though. My mother probably felt guilty for storming out of her house like that, even though the welfare of her only son was at stake. Not really, I mean, I'm still alive and kicking, which is more than we said for Great Aunt Clarice. Belle's violent assaults didn't leave any lasting scars. Not physically. Mentally, I'm also doing fine. Though I did become a primary school teacher, so you might think otherwise. But those scratches were hardly the worst things Belle did to me. I remember, I was playing with a model airplane. It wasn't anything special, certainly not electronic. All I could do was throw it, like a glorified frisbee, but I enjoyed it all the same. I was running through Great Aunt Clarice's overgrown jungle of a back garden, all uncut grass that reached past the ankles, and old dead apple trees that hadn't given any apples for years and years when I noticed it. Great Aunt Clarice's garden is rather big. Was big, I should say, because the garden doesn't belong to her anymore. It had apple trees, like I said, but it also had a vegetable garden, a disused pen where Great Uncle Albert used to keep chickens in a lake. A rather large lake lined with willow trees, like something from a picture book. Like the lake in the beginning of Alice in Wonderland. lost myself that day, though I didn't tumble into Wonderland searching for white rabbits. Instead, I, quite foolishly looking back on it, fell headfirst into the lake whilst trying to save the life of a black cat. I heard a yowl and a large splash. I turned, my plane forgotten. It landed on the ground and bounced a couple of times, but I hardly noticed. I was too busy staring out at the lake, staring at Belle. The old saying states cats have 9 lives, but I wasn't naive enough to believe that, even at the age of 6. I had already been to Great Uncle Albert's funeral, so I knew that when people died, they stayed in the ground and didn't get back up again. Belle did not have 9 lives. She only had 1 life, and it was precious. Belle had scratched me only a few months prior, and I didn't particularly like her, but I didn't want her to drown. That was why I decided to rescue her. I meant well, but as soon as it transpired, this was an incredibly stupid idea for several reasons. For one thing, I could not swim. For another, Belle could. I can't really remember what happened after that. This is where my memory goes foggy. All I have to rely on is hearsay from my parents and reports from doctors. They told me I almost drowned. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel or anything, or if I did, I don't remember it. But there is something I do remember from that ordeal, splashing helplessly in the icy cold lake in Aunt Clarice's garden. I remember watching slowly drowning as Belle pulled herself out of the lake right before my eyes, rendering my rescue attempt null and void. Now I'm just guessing. I imagine the last thought I had right before I swallowed a mouthful of fetid water and lost consciousness was, "You really are an idiot." More than 30 years later, I don't think I've changed all that much. Just ask my wife, Sally. May 11th, Tuesday. Sally doesn't like Arabella Waite, and I can't say I blame her. I don't think I like Arabella Waite all that much either. That being the case, it's strange Sally seems to be laboring under the entirely misguided apprehension that I might be having an affair with her. Why are you always so kind to that awful woman, Robin? I can't stand her. The two of us are sitting together in the living room. The curtains are drawn, the TV buzzing in the background like a particularly lackadaisical swarm of bees. I'm not sure what we're supposed to be watching because I haven't been paying any attention. I think it's some kind of crime drama. That would explain the stiff, lifeless corpse of a teenage girl sprawled across the TV screen, her hair wringing wet. Crime dramas have a strange fixation with dead girls, particularly drowned dead girls. Maybe they think it's edgy, maybe they think it's sexy. The pre-Redfieldites sure seem to think so, given their unhealthy obsession with poor Ophelia. I can't really comment on the sexiness or otherwise of this dead girl. She reminds me too much of Melly. I know you can't stand her, Sal, but her money is worth just as much as anybody else's. Every little counts and all that. Don't regurgitate advertising jingles at me, Robin. Even if they're catchy. Even so. I don't think Sally's watching the TV either. She's glaring at the wall, squeezing a cushion so tightly it would scream if it could. Why'd she have to come and pick Annette up so early? She knows her piano lessons don't finish until after 6:30. Maybe she's lonely. So she decides to invade her home and invite herself in for coffee. Well, I guess I was the one who invited her in for coffee, but I didn't really have a choice. Could have told her to leave. I couldn't, Sal. Not when she'd come all this way. I'd have felt bad. So you'd feel bad about inconveniencing Arabella's sodding Waite, but you don't have any sympathy for me. I had to listen to her banging on about her divorce for half an hour. I felt like I was going to go mad. Ouch. Sorry about that, Sally Pally. I try to give Sally a sympathetic look, but I'm not sure how much of an effect it's having. Sally isn't even looking at me. She's too busy seething. If you really were sorry, you wouldn't have dumped her on me like that. I'm a translator, not a professional entertainer. I know. I'm sorry about that, Sal. I really am. I didn't know what to do. I could hardly cut Annette's piano lesson short because her mother turned up too early. I bet she did it on purpose. It's because you're always so nice to her, Robin. You're too soft. I don't like the way Sally says nice. It sounds accusatory, like she's trying to frame me for a crime I haven't committed. is fairly attractive as far as single mothers go, but she is also, unarguably, Arabella White. Arabella White's daughter Annette is a student at the school I work at. She's been having piano lessons with me for 2 years. My relationship with the charming Madam White, however, is strictly one of business. I hardly ever talk to her. Well, Arabella White tries to talk to me. I go along with it because that's more polite than ignoring her, as Sally would prefer. But I don't try to encourage a conversation. Why would I? If I'm being brutally honest, I think Arabella White is something of a snob, and she's boring with it. I don't know why she gave her daughter such a fancy French name. Arabella White doesn't have a single French bone in her body. Though Arabella White's getting divorced, she's been in the process of getting divorced for more than 7 months now. I feel sorrier for Annette than for her. I think Annette's the kind of 9-year-old who's been forced to grow up too far too quickly. She's less of a daughter to her mother than a constant living counselor. No wonder she's always so quiet during her piano lessons. I have to be nice to her, Sal. She's a paying customer, and she's going through a tough time. I know she's going through a tough time. I know all about that, Robin, because she told me in detail. She told me more than I would like to know. Well, Sally sniffs. If the way she looks at you is anything to go by, I have no doubts as to why her last husband packed his bags. You're being a tad judgmental, don't you think? I'm not being judgmental. I'm just saying it like it is. She's always been far too friendly with you. Perhaps, but it's not like I return her feelings, whatever they might be. I just want to help Annette pass her grade before piano exam. And that's why you went out for coffee with Arabella last week, is it? Because you wanted to help Annette. I sigh heavily. So we're back to this again, are we? I thought we'd exhausted this topic last night. We certainly went over it enough times. I hate the women at that religious keep fit club Sally goes to. I swear, they don't even try to lose weight. From what I've gathered, they meet up every Monday solely so they can gossip. Mrs. Harris is the worst. I knew I was in hot water the moment I saw her under Costa last Saturday, trying to console the crying Arabella White over my cappuccino. I already told you, Sal. I didn't want to go for a coffee with her. We just bumped into each other and she suggested it, that's all. But you didn't need to agree with her. No, I didn't. But I think she needs somebody to talk to. The divorce must be pretty hard. She started crying, Sal. And I guess she needed a strong, handsome, already married, let me add, knight to sweep her off her feet. Come off it. What was I supposed to do? My heart isn't made of steel. But what about me, Robin? How do you think that made me feel? I wasn't thinking about you at the time, to be quite honest. I was more concerned about Arabella White smearing her mascara, which definitely was not waterproof, no matter what she said, down the front of my shirt. So you're telling me you gave her a hug, too? Shit, I didn't mean to let that one slip. I'm such a smooth talker. Well, I think she might have hugged me first, but it wasn't really a hug, not really. She was just trying to hide her face. Like I said, she was crying so much her makeup had started to run. Being hugged by her was being... I like this analogy. Being hugged by her was like being embraced by a depressed clown. It was an interesting experience, but not one I'm keen to relive anytime soon. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it. First you invite her out for a coffee, and now you're telling me that you've been letting her cry into your chest in public? Why did she need to emphasize the unpublic part? Isn't that better than embracing her in private? I don't understand women. Look, Sal, I know it sounds kind of bad, but it wasn't really like that. I'm not interested in her. Really, I'm not. Even if she does wear all those low-cut shirts. That isn't the part that upsets me the most, though, Robin. That's not the real issue here. Damn, Sally sounds bad enough as it is, and this isn't the real issue. I dread to think what that might be. I'm disappointed in you. You said you were going to go out with me and Melly last Saturday. You promised. Ah, of course, Melly. I knew I was forgetting something. It's a good thing that something is only my daughter. Look, I know what I said, and I really didn't mean it. I just got distracted, that's all. Too busy trying to console poor Arabella, were we? day out with her for almost a month and you still haven't. Just what is so pressing that you can't put one measly day aside for your daughter? I know it's shoddy behavior. I really am sorry. I've just been busy. Busy? How busy can you be? You're a music teacher in a primary school. It's hardly rocket science. It's not science at all. It's not even a proper subject. Oh, now Sally's done it. I love her and all. I kind of have to since she's my wife. But I'm tired of hearing this shit about my job day in, day out. Even Arabella bleeding away to get on my case about it last Saturday in Costa in between all of her tears. Oh, I envy you, Robin. Working in a primary school and doing music too. Must be so relaxing making a living out of something you're so passionate about. Toiling away in an office all these years has really started to grind me down. I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Yeah, right. Because trying to stop a class of 5-year-olds hitting each other over the heads with their recorders is so much fun. I'm living the dream here, folks. For your information, Sally, music is a proper subject, and my job is a proper job. It's more proper than yours, at least I actually leave the house. Sally stares at me, her face a pale death mask. What was that, Robin? What did you just say? I know I've gone too far, but I can't back down now. It's already too late. In for a penny, in for a pound. I said, my job is more proper than yours. Unlike you, I can't sit on my backside all day with the TV on in the background. How dare you say that to me? Just because I work from home, it doesn't mean my job is any less real than yours. Besides, music is nothing more than a hobby. It's not important, not in the grand scheme of things. Music is necessary no matter what you say. Being able to play an instrument is an important life skill. And that's why you stopped trying to teach Melly, is it? Because it's such an important life skill. I stopped for Melly's sake. She hated it. I just don't think the piano is for her, and I have other students to teach, so you'll teach them, but not Melly. Not our daughter. I wonder why. I'm sure money has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. Sally. Don't you Sally me. You're in the wrong and you know it. That's why you've gone quiet. It's because you know you've done something you feel guilty about. Sally looks at me with undisguised disgust. She might as well be examining a cockroach. I feel just as welcome. I'm going to sleep. Don't even think about coming in my bedroom tonight. I don't want to see your face. My bedroom? What's with that possessive? I did pay for half the house. Nice selective memory there, Sal. With that, Sally storms up the stairs, her messy bun bouncing. I watch as she ascends, slamming one foot after the other with more force than necessary. I can't see her face, but her posture makes her feelings more than evident. Don't follow me. If you do, you're dead. I sigh, rubbing the back of my neck with one hand. Don't worry about that, Sal. I wasn't planning on it. Might have almost drowned when I was a kid, but I'm not suicidal. There's a river a short walk away from my house. Oh, sorry, not my house. Mine and Sally's. It would be a little hypocritical of me to call out Sally for laying single-handed claim to our bedroom and then do the same thing about our home, wouldn't it? Let me try that again. There's a river a short walk away from our house, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. The river isn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination, hardly something to wax poetic over. Even the greatest of romantics would struggle to say something nice about it. The river is dark brown, choked with mud and dirt, and people use it as kind of a communal dustbin, ignoring the real bins that exist for that very purpose. It's usually filled with broken beer bottles, carrier bags from the nearby supermarket, and fast food containers. It's not a pleasant sight. Once I saw a sofa soaking in there, unmoved by the torrents of muddy water that rushed at it. It isn't rare to see shopping trolleys basking in those murky depths. Shallows, more like. They're motionless wheels aloft in the air. I don't pity the guys who have to dredge all that shit back out of the river. Must be a rotten job. Far worse than mine. Most people, my wife included, look vaguely amused when I tell them I teach music in a primary school. So you play around with tambourines and castanets all day. But at least being a teacher is a respectable job. Semi-respectable. It's proper. Not like lake dredgers or whatever their official name is. Do they even have an official name? At any rate, though this river is hardly a picturesque point of local interest, more like an eyesore, everybody says, I still like it. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sound of the rushing water. It's strange that I like this river so much that I almost drowned in my youth, but that's never really bothered me. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So as I always do when I'm feeling unsettled, which has been more and more frequently as of late, I find myself standing on that bridge overlooking the surface of the river. It's a dark night, and the water doesn't look brown as it usually does. It's black like ink. The skeleton of a shopping trolley sticking out of its muddy banks. There would be a shopping trolley. There always is. I suppose it's comforting in a way. Some things never change. Not like my relationship with Sally. That's changed a hell of a lot. It happened so gradually, too. I didn't realize how much it had deteriorated until... Until what? I don't want to say until it was too late, because that sounds horribly maudlin, but... I sigh, resting my hands against the wrought iron railings. The iron is cold, chilled by the biting wind, and my fingers spasm. If I stay here for too long, I'm going to catch a cold. I know that, but I can't bring myself to move. I continue to stand there, frozen, staring into the river. The water parts when it hits the shopping trolley, swirling about it in circles. Did I just feel a spot of moisture on my head? The rain starts to fall from the sky in a fine mist, light and ephemeral. Well, not that ephemeral, I'm still getting wet. I should go. I've dallied here long enough, lost in my self-indulgent thoughts. Sally might be getting worried. And again, maybe not. I wonder. If I slipped, fell over the guardrail, would Sally mind? Would Melly? Maybe Arabella Waite would, but I don't care what she thinks. Sally's right. I haven't been spending enough time with Melly. I only ever see her at dinner when we sit together at the table, lost inside our own respective silences. Happy families. She doesn't talk to me, doesn't even look at me. I'm not sure why I called her Melody. It's such a big name to live up to, with a lot of unspoken hopes and dreams mixed in. That was my first mistake. I turned, ready to make my way weary back home, but... Guess who? My vision is suddenly obscured by a darkness even darker than that of the night sky. Breath glides across my ear and laughter, obviously female, dances about me. There's something pressed against my back, hands held over my eyes. They're doing that childish game you see kids participate in the playground. Never thought I'd be on the receiving end of such a gesture. Who is it? How many young girls do I even know? Maybe it's one of my students. Mrs. Cartwright's Enid, perhaps? But Enid would never do something like this. She's far too shy. Not as shy as Melly, but shy enough. What about my other students too, then? Laura, Jessica, Katya? No, and no again. Laura is quite a chatterbox, but she'd never be this informal with me. Jessica spends most of her piano lessons staring up at the ceiling. Katya's family is from Poland, and though she's fluent in English, she has quite a strong accent. It isn't those girls. Why would it be? I'm not that close to any of my students. Who else could it be, then? I think you've got the wrong person. Can you let go of me, please? I expect a sudden intake of breath, a frantic step backwards, a wide-eyed apology. But it never comes. The girl only giggles. Her hands remain stubbornly in place, unmoved. Oh, no, I definitely don't. I know it's you. I know it was you, even if my eyes were pecked out by crows. Crows? If we really do know each other, could you at least let me see your face so I can confirm it? But that's no fun. I want you to guess. I've always been bad at guessing games. Suit yourself, but that's so boring. The girl steps back, drawing her hands away from my eyes. I turn, the wind and rain stinging my cheeks and frown. I don't know what I'm expecting. For some reason, my heart is beating just a little louder than usual. Trembling. It isn't every day you encounter a mysterious young girl on a bridge in the dark. The situation sounds like something from a novel. What kind of novel I haven't decided yet. I'll make my mind up when I If she has long black hair and pale skin, it's probably a horror story. If she has blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe a romance. But as it turns out, Mystery Girl is a mixture of both. She's short, far shorter than me. I knew that already since I could feel her breath against the base of my neck when she held her hands against my eyes. But I still don't know who she is. At least I don't think I do. Okay, the sound effects got louder there for a moment, so I went ahead and turned those down, so hopefully you can still hear me. There's something vaguely familiar about her face, the shape of her nose, the arc of her eyebrows. These moments are nebulous, difficult to pin down with any kind of clarity. Her hair is dark, cut into a neat bob. Her eyes are bright green, and a small, mischievous smile plays across her face, like a cat that's just caught a mouse. Would that make me the mouse? For some inexplicable reason, I felt a chill go down my spine, not because of the cold. There's something odd about this girl, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something uncannily familiar, but disconcertingly alien. But I don't know her. I'm sure I don't know her. If I'd met somebody with bright green eyes like that, flickering like halogen lamps, I think I would remember her. Normal people don't have eyes like that. I'm sorry, but I really don't think we've met before. This must be some kind of mistake. And I already said that it isn't. I'd know you anywhere, Robin Hawkins. So she knows my name. How does she know my name? She doesn't answer my question. She can't. I forgot to say it out loud. She takes one step forward and peers up at me. Her eyes are large, all-encompassing, like twin gas planets. My head starts to pound. I feel dizzy. I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you for such a long time. I want to tell you something really important. Dream Girl unlocked. I think I'm in love with you. So saying, the girl stands on the tip of her toes and presses a soft kiss against my cheek. Her movements are so gentle and tender, I can almost keep myself from believing we were estranged lovers, reunited on this bridge for the first time in 15 years. That can't be. I don't know how old this girl is, but there's a good chance she might not even be 15 yet. As for myself, I've been married to Sally for longer than that. The thought of Sally is enough to pull me back to my senses, more effective than a slap across the face. I'm sorry, but... I take hold of the girl's shoulders, frighteningly bony, and push her away. She doesn't look surprised by my manhandling. Handling? Teenage handling? Help me out here. Instead, she stares at me, eyes unblinking. To be honest, it's kind of unnerving. I can't deny that I'm flattered by the attention. What middle-aged man wouldn't be? But at the same time, I'm confused, anxious, and more than a little disturbed. What on earth was that all about? Why? Just who are you, anyway? Don't you remember? I thought that might jog your memory. Not that we've ever kissed before. Would have been weird. I really don't know. One of my old students. Do you usually let your students kiss you? Of course not. Good. I'm so happy I'm the only one. I get awfully jealous, you know. That doesn't help me out. I still don't know why. Alright, fine. I see we're not going to get anywhere without a bit of a push. She smiles, her eyes sparkling like precious jewels. First hydrogen planets, now jewels. This girl's eyes are an ever-changing mystery, a source of so many possible similes they've almost taken out of mythic proportions. It's inevitable. I've never seen a person with eyes like these before. In that case, there's just no way. How could that be possible? But it is. I step backwards. My back collides against the wrought iron railings and cold seeps through my jacket into my skin. The girl stands in front of me, smiling coyly as though she hasn't done lips. A cat's eyes. A cat's tail, too, peeking out beneath the hem of her dress. This must be a dream. This has to be a dream. The sudden kiss should have been enough to give a giveaway, but the scene playing out before my eyes is just sending beyond the order of the possible but improbable. And right into congratulations, you've gone insane territory. Maybe I've been outside longer than I thought. Must be the cold. I'm seeing things. What other explanation is there? This can't be real. There's just no way. Do you know who I am now? Slowly, stupidly, I open my mouth and say the first thing that comes into my head. Belle? The girl's face lights up, wreathed with smiles. That's right, I'm Belle, your great Aunt Clarice's cat. Of course. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's Belle. She's come back to thank me for trying to save her, though she didn't need saving to begin with. That's just how the world works. Those who do good deeds will be rewarded eventually. I think there's something about it in the Bible. I don't know if there's anything about cat girls in there, though. Granted, I never paid much attention in RE at school, so I can't be sure. I'm no priest. I'm assuming this is religious education or something. Falling into that river during my formative years must have scarred me more than I thought. And yet, despite my belief that this must be some kind of near-death-induced dream, the girl, Belle, I should say, doesn't disappear. It doesn't even flicker. She remains stubbornly solid, leaning her elbows against the iron rail as she stares out at the starry sky. If it were for the ears and tail, she would look like an ordinary girl. An ordinary girl who kisses a middle-aged man in the middle of the night. Well, I suppose that isn't so unusual. I suppose that isn't so unusual. Not really. Lots of girls do things like that. Some even make livings out of it. But this isn't the same. I know it's not the same. I'm not really a cat, you see. I can tell that much. Maybe you can now. But you were totally taken in before, right? You, your Granny Clarice, your parents, and everyone, really. It was a very convincing disguise. The best Halloween costume I've ever seen. Thanks. I managed to fool all you humans, but the other cats were less convinced. They must have known on some instinctive level that I wasn't one of their own. That's probably why they didn't like me. Didn't want to come near me. That's true enough. Granny Clarice's other cats, Smokey, Min, Snowdrop, Jasper, and Eric, never went near Belle. I always thought it was just a cat thing. My body was that of a cat. It was more than that. I've always been more. You said all you humans. Does that mean you're not human? How perceptive of you. She grins. And how many humans do you know that can disguise themselves as a black cat for years upon years? Maybe not a black one specifically. You're funny. You're so freaked out right now, but you're trying hard to make jokes. I like it. Christ. I run a hand through my hair. It's damp and it clumps together in spikes. Water trickles down my forehead. This is ridiculous. How can a cat also be a girl? I don't understand. It's probably easiest to think of me as neither. I'm not a cat or a girl. Then what are you? Words begin to flit through my mind. None of them are particularly flattering. Squamous, eldritch abomination. How can I phrase this? I suppose I would say spirit, but you humans might say harsher things like demon, devil, maybe monster. Monster? Not too far from abomination, then. At least she didn't say elder god. I was taking on the form of a cat out of necessity for a while. I didn't really want to, but I had no choice. I was too weak to assume a human form at the time, so I had to settle for something smaller. What do you mean you were too weak? I can't explain it right now. It's a long and boring story, and you probably wouldn't understand. Probably not. I can't even understand the made-up sci-fi jargon in Doctor Who, so how would I be able to wrap my head around something like this? Do you remember when I fell into that lake in Clarice's garden? I wasn't paying attention, really. Lost in my own world. When you're a cat, you can't communicate with anyone. Daydreaming is all you can do to pass the time. Of course I remember. I almost died. I suppose you have a point. humans only have one life after all. I take it spirits, or whatever it is you are, have more. She taps a finger against her nose, that teasing smile flitting about her face. Now, that would be telling. A woman has to have some secrets. I thought you said you weren't a girl. I'm not. There's a big difference between a girl and a woman. Yeah, doing the other voice for Robin is starting to get on my throat. Alright, fine. I won't cry, but I still can't wrap my head around all this. Good boy. I don't appreciate that condescending tone. I am 42. Hey, hitchhikers. And yet, despite your age, you are nothing more than a child compared to me. Just how old is this girl? Sorry, woman. If we first met when I was 6, she must have been a considerable head start over me. Isn't it rude to ask a lady her age, though? I was so happy you tried to help me back then. I mean, I wasn't in any danger, but the fact that you would risk their life in order to aid me was really touching. It wasn't touching, it was stupid. Don't be too hard on yourself. I appreciated it. People aren't very nice to us spirits, even when we masquerade as something else. Though they can never tell the difference, I think they can sense it. That might be true. My parents were never too struck on Belle, neither was I. I wonder why, though. What are the general duties of your average run-of-the-mill spirit? Meting out death? Ferrying souls? Heralding the apocalypse? If that's the case, it's no wonder people are suspicious of her. I vowed, ever since that day, when I had regained enough strength to take on a human form, I would find you and thank you. It became my mission, my reason for living, as it were. I'm flattered, but you don't need to go that far. But I did. At the time, I really, really did. I needed something to care about, something to strive for. I've been a cat for so long I was almost beginning to lose my sense of self. I was starting to forget who I was, and that's very dangerous for a spirit. Beings like me can take on other forms whenever we want, depending on how strong we are. But if we remain in one form too long and forget about our true selves, we'll be stuck. I was this close. She holds up her thumb and forefinger. The distance between them is minute. Microscopic. To forgetting. To condemning myself to live the life of a common house cat for the rest of my life. A life that would have ended far, far too fast. Cats can't live for nearly as long as spirits can. I can't imagine they would be able to. Just what am I talking about? I have no idea what I'm saying. I've never met a spirit before, so I have nothing to compare this girl's words to, and no way of verifying her statements. I'm not saying what I think she wants to hear. I'm just saying what she wants to hear. I'm trying to make her feel better. Over the course of the last 5 minutes, I've come to realize something. I don't like it when she frowns. I'm glad you tried to save me, Robin. You woke me up from my stupor. Shook me by the shoulders, metaphorically, of course, because cats don't have shoulders, until all the lethargy accumulated over the years fell away. I almost began to forget it was an act, and I almost forgot myself. You made me remember. You made me remember who I really am. You didn't save me from drowning, but you saved me in a different way. You saved my identity. You saved not my physical body, but my sense of self. That's why I want to thank you so much. I'd be nothing more than a dead kitty, a stone-cold cat carcass if it weren't for you. I wouldn't be able to talk, to cry, to laugh. I wouldn't even have opposable thumbs. Belle holds up her hands, bandaged her fingers in turn, like a child showing off an art project to a parent. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart. She looks at me earnestly, her green eyes intense. I shiver. It feels like an invisible, ghostly hand is brushing against every single vertebra of my spine. I look away, flustered by her forthright honesty, and run a hand through my hair. I really am a typical man. A man with feelings, cowed by confessions. Well, you already said thank you, so you need to kiss me. Was that also out of gratitude? Partially, maybe. It's because I realized something crucial. What? Saying thank you wasn't enough. And after you helped me so much, you helped more than you could ever know. Her eyes flash like faulty street lamps, harsh and intense. I can see streaks of bright green pressed up close against my eyelids when I blink, burnt inside my skull. You almost gave your life to help me. Now I want to return the favor. I eye her suspiciously. And how are you going to do that? I'm getting a bad feeling about this. This dream, nightmare, hallucination, whatever you want to call it, has become too real. I was playing along with it until now, waiting until I woke up, but it never happened. I don't think I'll ever wake up. The bizarre fantasy has impeded upon my mundane life, sticking to my skin and chilling my bones. It clings to me, one skinny arm threaded through mine, and stares at me with big round eyes. Penetrating. Her breasts are small, much like the rest of her body, but they feel soft pressed up against my arm. I don't know if she's noticed, or was that her intention all along? Her bare arms are exposed to the biting wind, the falling rain, but she doesn't shiver. Her body is cold, but it feels yielding at the same time. For all her talk about being a spirit, a demon, a monster, she looks like a young girl to me. She's so short I can rest my chin atop the top. I can rest my chin against the top of her bobbed black head. She must be around the same height as Melly, give or take a few inches. I want to be with you all the time. I want to help you just as you help me, and give you a shoulder to cry on when things get tough, and a smiling face to congratulate you when things go well. I wouldn't be alive without your sacrifice, so I now belong to you, all yours. What does she mean, all yours? Humans aren't objects any one person can possess, no matter what marriage contracts would have you believe. Though Sally shares my last name on legal documents, she still publishes her translations under her maiden name. We've been married for almost 2 decades, but we do not belong to one another. I couldn't force Sally to obey me even if I tried, which I haven't, because I like to think that I respect her. But respect doesn't count for all that much when neither of us particularly likes one another. Belle isn't a human anyway. She's not even a cat. I don't even know what she is. Maybe there are different rules in regards to possession when it comes to non-human entities. If there are, I wouldn't know. I've never met a spirit before. You heard me. I want to devote myself to you, my entire being. My each and every eyelash belongs to you, and the dirt beneath my fingertips, and the teeny tiny bones inside my toes. I wouldn't be able to appear before you in this body if you hadn't saved me, so I owe you. I owe you a lot. More ways than one. Without you, I would not even be alive. The cold wind makes me shiver. I should have worn my coat. I didn't have my coat. I must have been in too much of a hurry. The argument I had with Sally made my blood boil. I needed to escape before I suffocated. The cold air was good for me at first, to clear my mind. Now I feel uncomfortable. She's standing close. Far too close. She smells of the rain. Her hair sticks to her forehead and her breasts are still pressed against my arm. It's cold, but I'm starting to feel warm. Comfortably so. Oh. Belle's green eyes flash like the colored bands trapped inside glass marbles. One more thing. I'm still rather weak. I can maintain a human form, but I can only use it for a short while. Human bodies are difficult to materialize into being, even for a spirit such as myself. You're so intricate, like grandfather clocks. You'd never think it, but inside here... She taps her chest, but I don't think she's telling me to stare at her breasts, the little she has. Rather, she's imploring me to look beyond that, right past her skin into the inner workings of her alien, unfamiliar body. There's so much stuff going on here all the time. So many organs and muscles and so much blood. My whole body is tethered together with cord and wire, run by electrical impulses and neurons firing in the brain. It's very hard to focus on maintaining such a precarious, delicate existence for so long. It's exhausting. If I let my guard down for even a moment, I'd just disappear into thin air, like a candle being blown out. I've never heard anybody talking about the human body in such an impassioned way. It's strange, since Belle isn't a human herself. Maybe that's why she's so eager. People always get interested in the unknown. Why else do so many people long for the good old days? We always do it. Nostalgically harkening back to the past we did not even enjoy at the time. The grass is always greener. Everything becomes more attractive with distance, even the finer workings of the human body. Perhaps if I was not a human being, I would also find the respiratory system endlessly fascinating. Wasn't being a cat just as difficult? They have lots of little modes too. Being a cat was difficult, but I grew used to it. A few decades will do that to you. Being a human, however, is rather new. I need some time. You've not assumed a human form before? Even as I ask the question, I feel myself wince. My left eye twitches. I must sound like a fool. This isn't the kind of thing I should say. This discourse has no place in civilized conversation. It's the kind of fanciful dialogue that might exist in a young adult novel or a TV show. But real life? My life? Oh. Not a chance. But I still ask all the same, and Belle responds in turn. She doesn't even blink. Of course I have. How else would I know how to speak? It all comes with practice. Like riding a bike. Yep, once you've done it, you don't forget. It's been a while. Define a while. I can't. Spirits live longer than humans, so my perception of time is a bit off. But if you had to guess, I don't know, last time I was human was maybe 40 years ago? I've been alive longer than that. Longer than you can imagine. Wow. I don't know what to say. Should I turn it into a joke? That might be for the best if I don't want to go insane. Assuming I haven't already. I don't know if I feel comfortable about this. I should probably ask my mother for permission before I start chatting to such an old lady. Belle giggles and swats at me playfully like a cat batting at a bird's carcass. I see if she wasn't lying when she said she'd been a cat for so long. As far as she hasn't tried to lick me yet. Or herself. I'd love to stay and chat, but I can feel myself getting faint. I might have to take my leave soon. But this won't be the last time you see me, I'll make sure of that. With that cheery exclamation, Belle stands on her tiptoes and puts a small kiss on the tip of my nose. The gesture is unexpected and strangely sweet. I stare at her stupidly. Alright, Robin, I'll see you soon. Much, much sooner than you may think. Not sure if I should take that as a threat or not. And what's with that hee-hee? She isn't a cute schoolgirl no matter how hard she's trying. She isn't even a girl at all. She's a spirit. Something vague and unfixed, like a bugbear. Do spirits have genders? Did she assume a female form as an act of whimsy, a silly joke, I wonder? But I don't have the time to ask. I blink once, twice, and Belle has already vanished, her back melting into the surrounding darkness. I collapse against the railings of the bridge, sapped of strength. The iron bars are cool against my back, but my face feels hot. My nose tingles. I can still feel her lips pressed against it, that soft and girlish kiss. I hold one hand against my nose gingerly, as though it belongs to someone else, a different man. A better man, perhaps, whose wife still loves him, and whose daughter does not hide in her room every time he comes back home. Why am I thinking about Melly now? About Sally? Maybe it's guilt. It's because deep down inside, though I try to tell myself otherwise, I'm happy such a pretty young girl kissed me. Of course I am. Despite the falling rain, her body really was warm. When I return home, chilled from the wind and soggy with rain, I discover the lights in the house are off. Sally must be asleep. I'm not sure about Melly. For all I know, she'd be curled up in her bedroom, curtains drawn, reading a book, or searching the net with her old laptop. Or maybe she's just sitting there, staring at the ceiling, cursing me silently. I have no idea. I really don't know that much about Melly, do I? How on earth do we become so estranged? We're father and daughter. She's my flesh and blood. She might as well be a stranger. I wish I could shrug it off with an oh well. And sometimes I can. But it feels far too pressing right now. R2D pressing, more like. I open the front door and step inside, closing it behind me with a soft click. I don't want to wake anybody up. I even try to stifle the jingling of my keys, though I doubt that small sound would be enough to arouse anyone. I'm just trying to be considerate. Some people would call that overcompensating. I lean more towards cowardice. I don't want to get drawn into another row. I don't turn the lights on, instead I grope my way up the stairs in the dark, one hand on the wall, the other on the banister. Sally scolds me when I brush against the wall with my fingertips. She says it'll stain the paint. Beige paint. The carpet is beige too. Why did we decide to carpet the stairs in beige? It shows every single speck of dirt, no matter how minuscule, and a tight-lipped Sally has to vacuum each and every step, all 18 of them, every other week. Maybe I should feel guilty for not cleaning the house more often, but Sally does work from home, unlike me. She has more free time. Besides, she was the one who decided on the color scheme. She likes beige so much she can have it, but she's the one who has to deal with it. Damn, I really am cold, aren't I? So much for trying to be courteous. Why did I bother leaving the lights off? I should have flicked them all on, then tramped up the stairs in my shoes, stomping on each step for good measure. I like to think I'm a decent person, but I'm not always sure. I can be pretty selfish at times. At least Belle likes me. That might be a small consolation, if I weren't beginning to doubt whether or not she actually exists. Maybe I've gone insane. Is that where Melly caught it from? It could run in the family. Great Aunt Clarice was definitely a few cards short of a full deck given she had all those cats. I let myself into my bedroom. No, not my bedroom. Mine and Sally's bedroom. And shrug out of my jacket silently. Sally doesn't stir. I can see her laying underneath the covers, curled up on herself, a lump that rises and falls in the dark. She's lying on the left side of the bed, resolutely facing the wall. Does she still not want to see me? Sally looks younger when she's sleeping. Her blonde hair is loose, free from her bun, and falls over her pillow across her face. Her pajamas are strangely cute for a woman 1 year shy of 40. A demure white nightgown, like something a student at Mallory Towers might wear. All of a sudden, I'm run through with a sharp stabbing sensation. Guilt. I'm sorry for being such a lousy husband, Sally Pally. You deserve better. She doesn't respond. Of course she doesn't. Apologies don't mean all that much when you forget to say them out loud.